All right. Um, so Tommy Loran made a very interesting comment concerning California conservatives. And I'm going to admit it struck a chord with me. But here we go. This is from Fox News. Tommy Loran, we can't save California if conservatives keep leaving. Following an appearance on Fox Nation's first ever Patriot Awards, where she delivered a powerful speech on American values, Fox Nation host Tommy Loran, it's either Loran, I think it's Loran actually, stopped by Fox and Friends and urged conservatives to stay in California and fight for the state. Why did we stop trying in California? That's why I'm here, she said Thursday. If we keep leaving, we are not going to save it. I get why people leave, but I would say to conservatives out there, please stick around. It's worth fighting for. And it's a great state. Last month, a poll showed that half of California's registered voters, including 74% of conservatives, have considered leaving the state. The poll conducted by the Institute of Governmental Studies at UC Berkeley found 71% of residents considered leaving California due to the cost of housing. And politics aside, that is a huge con of California. It is extremely and extraordinarily expensive to live out here. The poll also found that 84% cited the political culture and 76% cited high taxes as the biggest reason. We do have high taxes. Republicans and conservatives were 3 times as likely to strongly consider leaving than Democrats and liberals, the study found. Meanwhile, massive crowds of Fox News and Fox Nation fans lined up Wednesday outside Mahaffey Theater in St. Petersburg, Florida, as ticket holders waited excitedly to take part in Fox Nation's Patriot Awards. The highly anticipated red carpet event featured a lineup dubbed the Golden Globes of conservative media, as attendees were treated to a live final thoughts commentary by Loren. Loren said there are many reasons people are leaving California, but high on the list is rising taxes, specifically to pay for illegal immigrants. She said many people wonder how Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat, got elected. Many people tell me, how did this guy get in there? He's destroying the state. She said adding to the problem with homelessness in major California cities may cause more and more residents to wake up and support conservative policies. Okay. So, she brings up a great point. Or many great points. And ultimately, here's the thing concerning this. Okay? You have these issues in California that is extraordinarily high. And we kind of don't really know how to deal with it. But here's one thing that's huge. Here's the thing. California conservatives, here's what we need. We need conservatives and Republicans from other states to possibly come here. Because here's the thing. You have places like Texas, New Mexico, you have the heartland of the United States. You have those areas where they're red. Okay, and they could afford to lose some conservatives, come here, and then help us California conservatives. Because I'm going to tell you, man, it is an uphill battle here. It's an uphill battle here. And here's the thing, especially concerning the presidency. I think California has either 52 or 54, I think it's 52 electoral votes. That is an insane number. That's an insane number. So let me just go right here to, where is it? So this is the Public Policy Institute of California. Okay, and I want you guys to listen to this, okay? So almost 8 in 10 eligible adults are registered to vote in California. It's about 79.1%, which is up from 72.7% in 2015. Okay, the share of the 19.9 million registered voters who are Democrats is similar to, while share of Republicans has declined. It's rough, man. It's seriously rough. We just have such an uphill battle. I mean, we are seriously down in terms of the count. It's difficult. But here's one thing that Tomi Lahren may not have thought about. And here's one reason I'm hopeful for the future in California. Conservatives and Republicans have more kids than Democrats and liberals. And now this is really big. Now you have these people, here's the thing, you have some headlines where it shows, some Democrats and liberals, especially, or kind of like some Gen Z people and some millennials are saying, okay, we're not going to have kids unless you guys fix this climate change stuff. Okay, that's not most people. Okay, it's just not. There are some who do honestly feel that way. And personally, I think they're bluffing, because I think, especially the women, they're going to be like, wait a minute, I have a biological clock. I can't just really do that. There will be some that I think will stick to it, but the number of people who will actually do this is very far and few between. But listen, when it comes to California, or not Californians, but Republicans and conservatives, we just have more kids. We have bigger families, and so here's the thing. If you just keep going, just basic mathematics, because here's the thing. These current, Democrats and current Republicans, they will die out. And then you will have their kids, they will come up, and there will just simply be more Republicans and conservatives than there are liberals and Democrats. Republicans breed Republicans. Democrats breed Democrats. Now, here's what's important. There are studies that show that parents who push their ideology onto their kids, it doesn't work. Their kids go the other way. They go to the other party. They go to the other side of the political spectrum. So, if you're a parent, don't push your kid to believe a certain way. Let them know how you are and what you think, but don't force it onto them. It's just highly likely that they will naturally just go in your same direction. Don't force it on them, and don't force feed it to them. It's extremely counterproductive. Okay. So, do I think Tomi's message will work? Ultimately, no, because it's hard. Because the thing is, when you have other conservatives, and we want an escape. Because to us, we've been here for years, and we feel like it's hopeless. And I'm young. But I just, it's, this past off year election that we had, I was just feeling like, man, it just wasn't even close. It wasn't even close in terms of, Gavin Newsom winning. He won very easily, and it's discouraging. It really is. But if we're going to hold on to California, this is a call to other conservatives and other Republicans. We need help in California. We can't do it by ourselves. See, here's the thing. There are certain states that we can, and here's the thing. I'm not trying to make fun of the heartland of the United States. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying there are many states there where they have very few electoral votes. There are some places where they don't matter in election season. So I'm looking up right now states electoral votes. Okay, so that's right. California has 55. Okay, I'm just gonna name off some places here. Okay, here's some. Okay, look. Texas 38, Oklahoma 7, Kansas 6, Nebraska 5, South Dakota 3, North Dakota 3, Montana 3, Wyoming 3, Idaho 4, Utah 6, Arizona 11, Arkansas 6, Louisiana 8, Montana 10, Iowa 6. I mean, I'm not saying these places suck, but it's just they simply don't have the electoral. They don't have the number of votes that California has. I mean, if you combined Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Montana, and Iowa, this is just the math off the top of my head. I don't believe you would have enough votes to equal California. I think you would just be under. And a lot of these places are pretty red. This is California this is a cry out to other conservatives in other states. We need your help here in California. Tommy brings up a very fantastic point. If we leave, they win. Because here's the thing. Our kids, they have to grow up. They have to age. They have to get to voting age. All right? So it's not like, we just keep having kids. The kids have to grow up. And so what we're saying is, I mean, you can take this how you would like. I'm not saying your state sucks, but let's just think about this. So the heartland of the United States is huge in terms of conservatism and Republicans. Okay, if we took a few 100,000 Republicans and conservatives and brought them to California from the states I named off, I mean, man, California's it's a whole new state. It's a whole new state. And, I feel like this cry is in vain. But if we want to save California and we want to, stop this liberal craziness, or at least slow it down, come to California. Because this helps us because we get a Republican president. And here's the thing. It's rough. It really is rough. Alaska, they have 3. We just need help. We just need help. We can't do it by ourselves. I mean, California, just look at this. California and New York. That is, what is that? 84? That's 84 electoral votes. Just between 2 states. And then you add Illinois, they've got 20. That's 104 electoral votes. I mean, that is unbelievable that just 3 states can do that. We need help. Because the reason we're leaving is because it's not looking up. It feels hopeless here in California for conservatives. And I know I'm not alone on this. This is one reason we're leaving. But, the taxes, that's a huge part. Because taxes are raised. Because California has a lot of problems, and California has no money. But, we're paying for illegal immigrants, and we're paying for, their issues and stuff like that. And it's just ridiculous. It's not that we hate these people. It's just very simple. If you are a citizen of a certain nation, you cannot just go into another nation and have the same rights and the same benefits. That has never existed. That's never been a thing. If you illegally enter any country, you will get deported. It's not a hate thing. It's not, people think that we hate illegal immigrants because of their race or whatever. No, it's just you are breaking the law, and we have to foot your bill. Think of it this way. Imagine you're at a restaurant and you have people, you're there with your family and you're enjoying your meal. And then you have these people who they just come in, they take a table, they don't wait in line, they just take a table, they order food, and then let's say they dine and dash. They just leave. That food has to be paid for. And in this analogy, you know who's paying for it? People at other tables who are just trying to go about their lives and take care of their families. But we have to foot the bill for these people who aren't going by the rules. They're not going by the law. We're all for them coming here legally. That's no issue. But when you just come in and you just do your thing without going through the proper channels, that's not really great. I mean, this may be really basic, but it's like when people cut in line when you were in elementary school. You hate people who cut. It's annoying. It's like, dude, lady, wait your turn. We'll get in there. Just if you give us time, we'll get in there. Just, don't cut. That's what it's like here in California. So we need help. We need help. If you want, and here's the thing, California really is a great state. We've got some tremendous views. I mean, you can be in one part of the state, and I mean, if you drive almost an hour and a half or 2 hours in any direction, you can go mountain climbing, skiing, swimming. You can do so many things in California. It's unbelievable. Guys, the women out here, I'm telling you, man, there's nothing like California women. I'm being real here. But if we're gonna save California, I'm calling out. I'm not calling out. I'm asking the help of those in the heartland of the United States that are conservatives and Republicans to just come here, even if it's just for a decade, and you just, help us and let our kids get older. Let our kids get to voting age. I know it's asking for a lot, but for the sake of the 55 electoral votes, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. And it would be much appreciated by conservatives here in California, man. It really would. Okay. Rapper T.I. He is... This is just a weird story, and I think, as you guys know, I don't have kids. Okay? But this is from The Guardian. Outrage as U.S. rapper T.I. says he has daughters hymen checked annually. U.S. rapper, actor, and TV host T.I. has prompted revulsion after he revealed he accompanies his 18-year-old daughter, Deja Harris, to a gynecological exam each year for her hymen and therefore virginity to be checked, a practice condemned as humiliating and traumatic by the World Health Organization. Here's the thing. Personally, I do think that's humiliating. First of all, I don't want my parents being around for a conversation like that. First of all, I look at it this way. It is not his business. It's not his business. Here's the thing. You guys know I can't wait to have daughters. I think about it every day, and it excites me so much. But I know they're gonna get to an age where it's like, okay, you know what? I hope that they will live by, the Bible and stuff like that, and the principles that me and my wife have tried to instill. Hopefully they go by that. But obviously they can do what they want. They do have free will. I am not going to accompany them to find out if they are still virgins. I'm not going to do that. It may make me feel more comfortable, but it's just not acceptable. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. That is not his business. That's not something that he needs to know. This is something that makes him feel more comfortable. That's the reason he does it. But I just, no, man. No. I can't see how you could do that to your daughter. I don't see it. And even, it's like this. I just, if you could take it, I look at it this way. You have to take your daughter's, you have to take your kid, at some point you have to trust your kids. Because clearly what this shows, it shows he doesn't trust his daughter. I mean, this is blatant. This is, what is truly sad about this. What's truly sad about this is it is a big thing that he accompanies her, but it's an even bigger thing that it's now public. This is not something that everybody needed to know. This isn't. Now, I've seen a picture of his daughter. His daughter is attractive. Okay, but I'm telling you, man, at some point, parents, you gotta trust your kids. Here's the thing, if you don't trust your kids, or I should say this, if you cannot trust your kids, and you feel the need to check on them, first of all, remember, they have free will, they can do what they want, just like you can do what you want. But it also shows, okay, you probably don't think you did that great of a job. If you are this concerned, if you're this concerned, ask her. But don't go with her. It's not your business. It's that's just, you at some point you gotta trust your kids. At some point you have to trust that they will make the right decisions. And here's the thing that I'm happy about. With her being 18, he says as of her 18th birthday, it's her hymen is still intact. So she is still a virgin. In terms of penetration, that's one thing you have to look at. She could have done other things. I'm sure she's had multiple opportunities and multiple requests from guys. But this, what's great is that now that she's 18, she is now an adult. He cannot accompany her anymore to that. He can't. She has to give permission. I didn't think I would talk. I didn't think I would talk about this. But I thought about it and I was like, you know what, man? I was like, I just think that's bad. To me, that's bad parenting. It's bad parenting. And I will go back to my trust issue with parents. Now kids do break trust. It does. Trust is something that it takes a long time to build and it can be lost in a second. So that I understand. So there are things that, that kids can do that can make the parents lose trust in them. There are things parents do that make kids lose trust in the parents. Relationships evolve. But, as a parent, most kids do their best. Most kids, they're not criminals. They're trying their hardest. They're trying to work to become something. They're trying to become independent. Here's the thing. People tend to think, and this may be because I think a big factor in this belief is that because millennials are living at home with their parents, they think that millennials don't want to be on their own. That could not be further from the truth. People naturally want to do their own thing. People don't want to live with their parents. The reason millennials live with their parents is because a lot of millennials are not prepared for the future. Some of them pick bad majors. Some of them are working, they're working jobs that they can't make, they can't afford their own place. But most people want to be on their own. People want to do their own thing. That's always been. Okay, when I graduate, my hope is to never, and I believe this will happen, I will never live with my parents again. That's the goal. It may not happen immediately, but that's the goal, because it's not that I hate my parents. I just don't want to be with them. I want to have my own space and my own place. And even parents want to have their own thing and do their own thing. It's great. Empty nests are great. They can be hard for the first few years of empty nesting because it's like, wow, things have really changed. But, now it's no longer a mom and dad relationship. It's now it's, just a husband and wife thing. And, they can do their own thing. But look, as you guys know, I've said this multiple times. I'm not a parent, but I look at this as I believe this is violating his daughter. I really do. It's not something that this is not information that he needs to know. And if he does indeed need to know it, he should not be going with her. This is something where you have to take her word for it. I mean, it's like this. Most people don't talk to their parents about their sexual experiences. That's just not a thing that you do. Now, I will say there are some relationships where parents and kids, they can talk about anything, and it's more like a friendship. It's more like, a friendship than a parent-child relationship. And obviously, relationships evolve over time. But most people don't want to talk to their parents about their sexual experiences. Most parents don't want to hear about it. I don't know why. Well, I can't think of any parent that would want to hear about it. I can't think of any parent that would want to share their sexual experiences with their kids. I mean, I don't have too much else to say about this, man. But this is just wrong. This is just wrong. Let me read a little more. Let me see. Let me find the specific quote. Okay. Asked on the Ladies Like Us podcast about sex education for his children, he said, "Not only have we had the conversation, we have yearly trips to the gynecologist to check her hymen. Yes, I go with her. I will say, as of her 18th birthday, her hymen is still intact." That is not something you publicize, man. He acknowledged a woman's hymen can be broken outside of sexual activity, but countered by saying, so then they come and say, well, I just want you to know that there are other ways besides sex that the hymen can be broken, like bike riding, athletics, horseback riding, and other forms of athletic physical activity, which is true. So I say, look, doc, she don't ride no horses, she don't ride no bike, she don't play no sports. Just check the hymen, please, and give me back my. He said, give me back my results. Those are not your results, T.I. Those aren't your results. This is it's just wrong. It's just wrong. I hope I have a relationship with my daughters to where I want them to be able to feel comfortable with talking to me about anything. Because, with my parents, I didn't have that, and I still don't have that. And there were times where I just looked at, my friends and my peers, and I could see the relationship that they have with their parents, and I was like, man, that's just amazing to me. How you can just talk to them about anything. I can't do that with my parents. So I want my daughters to be able to talk to me about anything. And when it comes to, sexual stuff, if they say that they've lost their virginity before they're married, I'll be disappointed, but I won't be mad at them. Simply because I get it. I understand the struggle. I understand, you naturally have those urges. And it's not something that I would ask them about either. Are you still a virgin? That's just not something that I would bring up. If they want to bring it up, cool, but I would not do that. T.I. is in the wrong here. T.I. is in the wrong here. And this is just not something that he needs to know, let alone publicize. This is for Deja Harris. That's who this information. She's the one who needs to know. And those she has sex with, and wants to have sexual relations with, those are the people, who it matters to. The dad, no. He is very, very, very extraordinarily wrong. Okay. Doc Rivers, the Clippers head coach, says he's done with coach's challenge rule after questionable foul stands. 8 games into the season, Doc Rivers says he is done with the newly implemented coach's challenge. A frustrated Rivers vented about the rule after he lost a challenge in the fourth quarter of the LA Clippers' 129-124 loss to the Bucks at Staples Center on Wednesday night. The call in question was an offensive foul call by Milwaukee point guard Eric Bledsoe on Clippers guard Lou Williams. Now here's the thing. I saw the play, and Eric Bledsoe, to me, sold it very well. I believe, because here's the thing. Lou Williams was driving to the basket, and Lou Williams' left elbow was like going backwards, not in any motion to try to elbow Bledsoe or anything like that. His arm was just naturally going back, and Bledsoe, I believe his elbow skimmed Bledsoe's face, which I do believe would hurt. But I mean, he really sold the contact, and I mean, it just give Eric Bledsoe an Oscar. That's all I'm gonna say. But this happened with 7:18 left and the Bucks up 108-101. Williams was driving past Bledsoe when the Bucks point guard snapped his head back following possible contact with Williams' arm. Rivers said he thought Bledsoe pulled a fast one on the officiating crew. That was awful, Rivers said afterward. It was. They should have overturned it. That's why I hate the rule. Nobody wants to be wrong. Let me just say that. You have to overturn that. Unless Bledsoe fouled Lou with his face, there was no foul on that play. And let me say this. I've never been a fan of leagues protecting the officials. Because here's the thing. Humans make mistakes. That's just natural. And I think it's wrong that that players and coaches would be fined if they criticize the official. The official isn't special. The official is also a human. Okay, they make mistakes. Their job is to be unbiased and, let the game go on. But here's the thing. If you make a mistake, you can be criticized. Just like if you do something well, you can be praised. If you do something bad, make a mistake, you can be criticized. I don't believe the refs should be exempt from criticism. They shouldn't. After official Courtney Kirkland called the foul on Williams, Rivers signaled for the play to be reviewed. The play was replayed over and over from different angles on the video screens, and the Staples Center crowd booed about there being any contact between Bledsoe's face and Williams' arm. Williams and Rivers pleaded their case with official Zach Zarba. Coaches can use one challenge per game, regardless of whether it is successful, and a team must have a timeout and call one after a challenged play. There must be clear and conclusive visual evidence to overturn a call. Through Wednesday night, there have been 70 challenges across the league this season, with 25 overturned, which is 36%. Of those challenges that have been 13 offensive fouls have been challenged, only 3 overturned. Rivers is 0 for 2 in coaches' challenges this season. So I think this is another thing that is feeding his bitterness, being 0 for 2. But he's 0 for 2 in challenges this season after he unsuccessfully challenged a call with 33 seconds left in a 130-122 loss at the Phoenix Suns on October 26th. 5 Clippers opponents have challenged calls, with only the Utah Jazz successful with an overturn during the fourth quarter on November 3rd. There was a flop, Rivers argued Wednesday night, which is what I would call it. I think it would have been more of a chance that Bledsoe got a letter from the league after flopping than Bledsoe got fouled. That was awful. I don't like the rule anyway. I said it up front, and now I like it even less. Yep. I mean, this isn't surprising that, I mean, here's the thing. People tend to like the status quo. They do. Politics, their own personal life, people don't like change. They don't like moving. Going to a new environment is scary. A new job, a new school. It's scary. People like consistency. People like the status quo. So when this rule was introduced, we knew that there would be criticism. But I got to admit, 36% being overturned. I honestly think it's actually a little bit higher than I thought would be up to this point. Because here's the thing. People don't like being wrong and refs don't like being shown up. So naturally, I would think, okay, when you call for a challenge, you're saying, okay, I made a call, you think I'm wrong. Okay, I don't want to be embarrassed, I don't want to be shown up, I don't want to look bad, even if it's temporarily, so I'm not going to overturn it. I think that is a factor, because people just naturally, they don't like being wrong. But 36% is higher than I thought would happen. So I will give the NBA that. But that's really all I have to say about this. I mean, do you guys like the idea of the coach's challenge? Do you think it's working? Do you think it's helpful? I think it's really going to catch some heat when it comes to playoff time. That's when it's going to be crazy. Because I mean, I can see it now down the road. A team will be eliminated off some controversial. It'll be like Game 7. There's going to be a controversial call. There's going to be a challenge, and it's going to go one of two ways, and it could make all the difference. So I can't wait to see what happens with this come playoff time. I really can. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't hate the rule. I just think it's going to take some getting used to. And I think it's going to take a few seasons. There's going to be mess ups. There's going to be misfires. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Personally, I got to be real. The NBA's replay system, I think it's very janky. I really do. I mean, I look at the NFLs and I think that I'm like, wow, that's really cool. You look at the NBA, if there's ever a replay, you gotta go to the sideline. They gotta pull a monitor from under a desk, set it on a table, the scorer's table, and then you squat and look at the you put some headphones on and you squat and you look at the monitor. I think it looks janky. That's just me. Hopefully they can find a way to change that, but I think it's hard, because it's really difficult, because basketball is a game where you have everybody everybody's on top of each other. You have players, and literally you can have a player and right next to them is a fan, like a foot away. Like that's how, I don't want to say intimate, but that's how much close proximity there is in the NBA. So I don't think you can really change that system. But I don't know. I just think it looks so old fashioned. I think it looks like a joke. But here's the thing. If coaches and players want to plead their case, they have to do it there on the court. It's not like you can have these people go back. You can't have the referees go into the tunnel, go into some tunnel and, players and coaches have to run back there to plead their case. You got to have it right there. But I think there should be some type of officiating booth. I think, because here's my thing. I would personally, this is me personally, if I could change one thing about arenas and basketball games, I would move fans back. I would say I would move fans back about 10, 15 feet at a minimum. I don't like the idea of fans right there. If I'm a player, this is just me. If I'm a player, I don't want to shoot a shot or do anything on the court and I'm right next to Joe Blow, who's eating popcorn and spilling some on the floor. You have spilled drinks and they got to stop the game. And it's just a mess. And also from the other side, if I'm a fan, if I'm sitting courtside, I don't want to get hit by another player. If you move everything back 10 to 15 feet, you can't really say courtside anymore. But now I think everyone is happier. Personally, I wouldn't want to be that close to the players anyway. I don't want to be hit. I want to be able to enjoy my food, enjoy my drink. I don't want to be hesitant when the players are coming to my side of the court and it's like, okay, sure hope there's no loose ball and it's coming in my direction. Cause guess what? I won't be able to get out of the way in time. So that's just me. Those are just that's just one of the changes I would make to the NBA. But let me know what you guys think about this rule and if it's working, if it's not working, should it be changed? Should it just be thrown out? But yeah, just, let me know.